Hey Tribe, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is RuPaul's Drag Race Season 10 Episode 9 review. Let me say this. I'm really looking forward to seeing other reviewers' opinion of this episode. For me, this was probably one of the worst episodes in the history of Drag Race. It gave me nothing. Nothing. I really don't like this lipstick. I usually use this lipstick and blend it with something else, but I don't like it. Anyway, moving on. So we're going to get through this review. I'm going to give you what I got, but it ain't a lot. I'm just going to be honest with you. I just didn't get a lot out of this. Something I was going to say before I started doing the review, and my mind is just all gone now. But the episode starts, it always starts with the elimination of the last queen. And so the last queen that left was Vixen, and she left some old crazy message on the mirror about when people are silent, bad queens win, that kind of bullshit. Anyway, nobody cares, you're gone, bye. Ding dong, the witch is dead. But now we have a new witch look like they're emerging, Miss Aquaria, a little overconfident with herself. And the way the editing started out, I thought Aquaria was going to end up at the bottom. Because y'all know you can always, well, not always, obviously, but you can a lot of times tell where the editing is going based on, where the tops and bottoms are going to be based on the editing. But Aquaria was getting a lot at the beginning, and the girls were, she was in denial and didn't realize that she was in the bottom three. She thought she was safe. Here's a hint, Aquaria. First of all, if Ru didn't say you're safe, you weren't safe. Second of all, if there are only 3 queens left on the stage, you're in the bottom 3. You didn't have to lip sync, but you were in the bottom 3 last week. Let's be clear. And did you not hear the critique of your share? They wasn't feeling it. Anyway, so Aquaria is very overconfident, and I guess we'll see how that plays out, because the queens were just giving her the side eye like, bitch, for real? Like, you really smelling yourself a little bit. So then we move into the mini challenge, and the mini challenge was basically like the memory game with the pit crew wearing different types of underwear. And they had to, they call the different numbers and then pull the pants down, and the person who got the most matches and the least amount of tries won the mini challenge. And actually it was called, was it bottoms up, tops down? Something to that effect, right? I wrote it down because, again, it wasn't giving me a lot. I'm sorry. Pants down, bottoms up. Like ass down, but okay. Stephen Colbert did the little intro, and he did his little, I guess, his imitation of what he think RuPaul sounds like. It was Stephen Colbert. It was supposed to be funny. It was what it was. That was all we saw. So I guess he called Ru and was like, I want to make a cameo on your show, Aquaria won the mini challenge. So this week's challenge was, Maxi challenge was a parody of Westworld called Breastworld. And so it was an acting challenge. It wasn't a musical, but it was an acting challenge. And Aquaria, because she won the mini challenge, she got to give out the roles. I believe she missed a golden opportunity because she allowed the girls to pick their own roles based on the description. And first of all, that's probably not the best way to pick a role anyway, is based on the description. You probably want to actually read the script. And Eureka actually suggested that they read the script, and Aquaria was like, no, we'll just read the description and you guys can pick. You let your whole advantage go when you allow them to pick for themselves, because then you ended up with the biggest role with the most lines, where you probably could have picked one of the smaller roles but rocked the shit. Now, it worked out because you end up doing a really good job and you end up getting a lot of kudos from the judges. However, like I said, I just feel like you did not fully give yourself the potential. I'm sorry, you did not fully use the advantage that you won in that mini challenge. But either way, So we move into the acting challenge, and Michelle Visage and Ross Matthews are the directors. And we see that Eureka is struggling, which I have no idea why you are struggling, boo. Eureka, you my girl. I've been rooting for you this whole time, but you, and it wasn't even like you were in your own head. It was just like, I don't know, because you picked the role, and you only had like 5 lines. I don't know why you were struggling with that. Like, I really don't understand. But you did, and so you were struggling. Um, Monique rocked that shit. Of course, Monique did the day. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's rewind. Let's go to the workroom. I'm sorry. We're down to the final 6, right? And so at this point, no, there are no more floaters. There are no more sliding through. Either you going to perform or you going to go home, and it's going to be really obvious. So as they were going through the workroom, getting ready for the challenge, that's kind of what Rue was just letting everybody know. Rue was like, look, you, like, whatever little bloops and blurps and mistakes and trip ups you've had, like, that's it. That's a wrap. There's no more sliding. There's no more hiding. Like, this is it. And with that being said, Rue kind of hit Monique with, well, why you not winning no challenges? Like, why you can't win a maxi challenge? And Monique said, well, it's probably my runway. Like, I'm giving it to you in the maxi challenges, but my runway is just not getting me over the top. And Rue even let her know, like, she had on a wig at the time, and Rue was like, well, and it was a big wig. It wasn't one of them little pixie wigs that Monique likes to wear. And Rue was like, hello? This is what you need to be giving us on the runway, like big wigs. Give us, like, you have to give us the glam. Like, we get it that you're talented and you're campy, but you got to give us the glam. She let Asia know, Asia, look, you're a winner. Go back to the basics. Do what you do best. And it actually Asia sort of teared up a little bit. We got a little glimpse into Asia. Asia comes from a conservative home, she let us know. She said her aunts were very conservative. However, it seems like they're okay with her being gay. I don't remember her telling a story about having that issue. I'm so sorry, y'all. It's been raining for like 2 weeks. You know, the rain makes you want to sleep. Oh, man. Cameron, she kind of let Cameron know, you got to kind of, like, you've been sliding below the radar, basically. And last week you proved to us that you could shine, and we need to see more of that. What else? Nothing really. Aquarium, Eureka, same old, just letting them know, look, just keep doing what you're doing, kind of thing. But she was just basically putting everybody on notice. Ain't no more floaters, ain't no more sliding. So for like I said, the challenge, Eureka was struggling, Cameron was struggling, Aquaria was doing great, Monique was doing the damn thing. But the breakout was Asia. Because after last week, when she totally flubbed the share challenge and made all these excuses as to why she couldn't do it, she did the damn thing this week. Like, she showed up. She had a small part, but she stood out. She made her presence known, and she did a really good job. Ross was like, you have totally changed the tone when you show up. Like, she did it. She did really good job. She did what she needed to do this week. The runway challenge was Silver Fox, which I hate. I hated that. I didn't like. So basically, it was where do you see yourself looking like in 50 years? So the whole idea was to just be these old queens. Cracker, I didn't like Cracker's look, but judges loved it. I mean, it didn't do nothing for me, but the judges loved it. Asia, let me tell you something. The judges didn't quite get Asia's old lady until she sort of explained it. But Asia gave you that old grandma that don't want to act old, the grandma that want to try to be young and try to have, because she had her hair braided to the side and she had these old rundown stockings, but in her flip-flops and socks and old bodysuit. And she was like, I'm giving you, rundown show queen, whatever. And at first I was like, it took me a second too when I first saw Asia. I was like, come on, Asia. But then I was like, you know what? Okay, I get it. And when she explained it to the judges, they got it too. But yeah, everybody either has one in their family or knows somebody that has one in their family. That grandma that don't want to accept she a grandma and still trying to dress and act like she ain't a grandma. That's who Asia was, and it was cool. Monique gave you campy, over the top, walking with an IV, titties hanging, no hair. Again, Rue just told you what to do, and you did the opposite. So once again, you should have or could have won that challenge because the judges loved her performance. They absolutely loved her performance, but again, your runway didn't do nothing for anybody. So Asia pushed you out. I'm all over the place, but anyway, Asia won the challenge. She ended up pushing you out and winning. Um, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself because again, it ain't a whole lot here, y'all. I'm sorry. The actual breast world skit was boring as hell. Like, I really could have fast forwarded through it, but I wanted to see everybody's performance. But it was so boring. It was just not. It didn't do nothing for me. It just was boring. It was supposed to be robots. The main character, her and her friend were at this resort, and it was like a gay resort. And the woman was like, "Oh, I don't like gay people." And of course, by the end, it was like, "Oh, we're all really just the same." Oh. And Eureka was a killer robot that was killing people with her blow dryer. It was crazy. It was all over the place, and it ain't do nothing for me. So that's Eureka's runway. She was trying to give you sophisticated old lady, and it really didn't. It really didn't play the way I think she wanted it to play. She didn't look old enough. Like, I think the outfit. First of all, Eureka, that probably wasn't the bodysuit challenge. You're playing an old lady. Most old ladies are not giving you a bodysuit. I'm not saying they won't, but the old lady you were trying to. She said Downton Abbey. Ain't nobody in Downton Abbey wearing no goddamn bodysuit. Now you tell me who had a bodysuit on the Downton Abbey. You show me. All right, so if that's what you were going for, the bodysuit wasn't the look for this challenge, boo. And her makeup just wasn't, to me, exaggerated enough to show old lady. It just didn't give it to me. And it didn't give it to the judges either. Cameron, your runway was beautiful. It was on point. It was everything. She had the prosthetic face. It was very wrinkly. And she had warts. And she had this old going to bingo, going to the casino outfit. And she did this whole little skit where she took her medicine and then had this whole little like energy boost or whatever. So hers was pretty good. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, Aquaria's look, she didn't look like an old lady. She didn't. And she was going for, well, just because you're old doesn't mean you have to look old. But that was the challenge. The challenge was to look old. So the judges didn't really buy it. Even though Eureka's performance was they loved her performance. They thought she was great. Her runway look didn't push her over the edge. So your top, like I said, Monique was in the top. Asia won. Well, Monique was safe, I guess you'd say. Asia won. And it was so funny because, and Aquaria was in the top. It was so funny because when they announced that Asia won, Aquaria's face was cracked. Aquaria was like, what? Like, what? Like, who won? And I was like, yeah, bitch, you didn't win. You did not win. Go sit your ass down somewhere. The bottom was Cameron, Eureka. Cameron and Eureka ended up lip syncing. But Cameron, Eureka, and I guess, yeah, Cracker. Because again, they didn't like Cracker's performance. And they loved her look on the runway, but they didn't like her performance. But she didn't have to lip sync. She was safe, but she was in the bottom. Because that's what happens, Aquaria. When you're the last three on the stage, you're in the bottom. So because the whole episode didn't really give me a lot, I'm going to give y'all a little bit of Untucked. So a couple of things happened in Untucked that I want to kind of just touch bases on. So the first thing was that Cracker's mom, came. They had a. She didn't come there. They had a video of Cracker's mom and her sister, and we find out that Cracker's mom has a disease that is taking her vision, and by next year she'll be totally blind. And Cracker was saying that's why this was so important for me, because this is the last time I wanted my mom to be able to see me on TV, and this is probably going to be one of the last times that my mom will ever be able to really see me even perform, because this time next year my mom's vision will be gone. And she said after the show, her mom and her sister are going on like this road trip where they're going to see the United States and just take her mom, to all the landmarks and stuff like that. And I just thought that was so sweet and so special. And you just never know people's story. You just never know what people are dealing with. And I just thought that was so that was a good moment and an interesting moment. And I'm glad that her mom is able to see her. That's a great thing. And able to see so much of her. That is just great. The other thing that happened in Untucked that I thought was really interesting was Cameron can't take a compliment. Cameron can't accept that she's good. She can't accept that she's good at drag. She can't accept that she's doing good in this competition. And even to the point where it's starting to get on the rest of the girls' nerves, because they're like, even last week when you won, your ass was practicing your lip sync because you thought you were in the bottom. It's like you couldn't hear that the judges were praising you, and the judges thought that your share was great, and the judges thought that you were doing such a good job. You couldn't hear that, to the point where not only did you not, it wasn't even so much that you thought you were bad. You were practicing thinking you had to lip sync. And it's, Asia was saying it's really just dangerous to be at a point where you can't accept a compliment. And there's a really touching moment between Cameron and Eureka, where Eureka's like, I love Eureka, because Eureka's like, girl, what's going on with you, girl? She just got that homegirl mama on the porch. She's smoking her cigarette. She like, girl, what's going on? Tell me what's wrong. And because Cameron actually gets up and walks out and she's crying. And Cameron is, and like I said, Eureka's like, girl, what's wrong with you, girl? And she tells her, she said, I'm like my dad. She said, my dad just didn't show emotion. And in her mind, showing emotion is a weakness. And she said, that's how my dad was. That's how I am. I just feel like emotions are wasted things, that they show weakness, that they're not important. Like, that's just not something that you should do. And it's actually really sad that she feels that. It's almost like when we tell our boys, don't cry, that's what sissies do. Don't be crying. Don't, you know what I mean? And Eureka told her, Eureka was like, no. She was like, crying is a sign of a strength, because I forget how she exactly worded it, because the way she worded it was really profound. But basically, she was like, it's not a weakness, it's a strength, because it shows that you basically are in tune with who you are, and you can show that emotion. And I like the way, I'm going to go back and write it down, because I really like the way Eureka worded it. But it was a deep moment. I don't think it changed anything, because I think that Cameron, because you can't undo 30 years of something in one conversation. But she went on back, and, she was over to the side doing her thing, listening to her music and stretching, because she was like, now this time she was right. She did have to lip sync. But, because after all of that, she did end up having to lip sync. But the bigger picture is, you got to learn how to just take a compliment, because it really is dangerous to not be able to accept your greatness. So we had a lip sync. Eureka, Cameron, Patti LaBelle, New Attitude. Now that's a lip sync song, okay? First of all. Second of all, we had a fucking lip sync. Now it started off slow, because at the beginning, I was like, here we go again. That's some bullshit. It started off slow. But honey, let me tell you. And let me tell you something. At the beginning of the season, when Eureka was all worried about her knee and was scared to dance, shit, her ass wasn't scared to dance tonight, but she was lip syncing for her damn life, and she thought she saw Cameron was kind of getting in her groove, and she's like, oh shit, let me pull out the stops. And Eureka went to the back of that stage and did some high kicks up to the front of the stage and fell into a split and slid her happy ass across that stage in the split, twerking on the floor. Honey, she wasn't worried about that damn knee then, which she shouldn't have been, because at that point, it's do or die, boo. If you fuck your knee up, oh well, you're going home anyway. And it got to the end of the lip sync, and in my mind, it's funny because in my mind, I was thinking, now that's the lip sync, and Ru need to just go on and be like, Shantae, you both stay. That's what I was thinking, right? So Ru says, Cameron, Shantae, you stay. So, of course, Cameron, she's crying, and she moves to the back of the stage, and Eureka is standing there, crying and getting emotional. And Ru says, Eureka, Shantae, you stay too. And, of course, Eureka fell out, oh, Ru, oh, thank you so much. And I was thinking the same thing, because I was like, hell, for them last 2 weeks of them bullshit ass lip syncs where you just where you could have sent both of their asses home, you might as well go on and keep both of them. And Bruce said, she said, now that's a lip sync for your life. That is how you tell me you want to fucking be here. And so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got for you. I am really looking forward to hearing what Mr. Caldwell has to say, what Maddie and Jamar have to say, what Jimmy P, all the people that I watch, Kelly Love, all the people that I watch, their reviews, Alexander, I want to hear what y'all have to say. Because for me, that episode didn't do shit for me. But maybe it's me. Maybe y'all seeing something that I ain't see tonight. Y'all let me know what y'all think in them comments. Drop it down there. Peace.